Welcome to the second episode of Casual Convo Sessions. And today I have a good friend of mine with me on the show. He's a fitness instructor, he's a model, he was a part of the Mr. Tibet 2017 model worldwide held in the year 2018. Very wonderful human being. My man, Tsering Choepel. How's life going, man?
Life is going pretty good. I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
Yep.
we go a long way back. Maybe we see, we were working in the same company, right? And
Right.
then all of a sudden you leave the job, you decide to do other things in life. And from being a BP employee to taking part, in the Mr. Tibet competition, also becoming a fitness instructor. How are you taking all of this?
Well, I would say that yeah, we were working together in the BPO, and after that, I was realized that this is not something that I want to do. I always wanted to do. I always wanted to run. I always wanted to do some activities. I was always engaged in physical activities, so I was more into sports and games. And yeah, after BPO, I got into fitness. I got to so much interest into learning about bodybuilding or body transformation. I did a course after that, and yeah, after I left the job, I made a full-time job in as a fitness trainer in some of the fitness centers. And yeah, so the journey has been amazing. Of course, there's been a lot of things that has came to me. I took all this as an opportunity,
Mhm.
and it has been amazing so far. And I always try to explore or experience new things in my life. So yeah.
You were also working in Gold's Gym here in Bangalore, right? And
Right,
culture
right.
as well for some time. Yeah.
So Gold Gym was the first. I did a certification from Gold Gym that time when I first started out, and I got through, and they made a placement for me to start as a general trainer. I started with a general trainer, so I was just going around in the gym and looking at how people are doing, and whether the people are doing it wrong, then I have to go and just correct it. I started off that way, and then gradually I became a personal trainer. And after I worked there in Gold Gym for like I think 8 months or something, I did my ACE certification. ACE certification is American Council of Exercise, quite a good certification. So therefore, I got a lead trainer in cult fitness. I was specialized in strength and conditioning mostly. So it was mostly cult fitness was mostly about CrossFit and yeah, strength and conditioning. So yeah, in cult fitness, I got to learn more about different ways of activities of doing exercise. Like there are a lot of patterns, as you might know, because you've been
Yeah.
doing UFC, you have been doing all this MMA and mixed martial arts and all that. So these are all involved in terms of strength, in terms of endurance, in terms of speed, agility, and everything. So cult fitness is one center that has taught me a lot about there are different aspects of varieties of exercise that we can do. So mostly based on the strength and conditioning, not just building up muscles, not just the classic old school
Yeah. Yeah.
bodybuilding, but more like varieties that you can make it more functional. I think I can put it that way. It's more
Great.
functional, and
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah.
And I think strength and conditioning is a must, right? When you're into action sports, specifically like MMA, football.
Yeah, when I first started out, I started out as like a bodybuilding. I wanted to lift weights and just a classic bodybuilding. And after that, I got to know about there are a lot of varieties of exercise, which I thought that these are more important than just lifting weights. Not just bodybuilding and not just making big mass and big muscle, but it also have to be functional. So CrossFit, strength and conditioning, these are the I think these are more important than just lifting weights and just classic bodybuilding. Because for the long run, I think this will be more effective for you. It will be more um, healthier than just being lifting weights as a classic bodybuilding. So these are more effective, I think. Yeah.
Moving on to your role has always been great when it comes to fitness, right? You've always been into fitness and sports activities. Now, talking about sports, you are also a part of a football team, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So that was in, I think, 2016 or something.
Uh-huh.
I got into Tibet national team,
Correct.
and
So you
so
guys
I
won
got the
this.
opportunity to, and I got the opportunity to even go
Mhm.
to London to play for the Carnival World Cup.
Wow. Mhm.
Unfortunately, I couldn't play that time. I was not well that time, but I
Okay.
got the opportunity to just go to London and just see how this big tournament was happening over there. It was a wonderful experience for me. You
Mhm.
know, just to be in a part of a national football team is something that has always you know, to be
Mhm.
feel proud of. You know.
I'm sure that must have been a proud moment for you. I mean, to go to London and represent the team and
Right.
a country
Right.
in itself, and doing that really requires, I think, a lot of hard work.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So this is something after I become very physically active in fitness. So after that, you know, I was quite engaged in most of the physical activities. And football
Mhm.
is the game that you should be really actively engaged into physical attributes like speed, stamina, agility, and all that. So I was that time I was quite athletic. I think I should say that
Mhm.
way, and it gave me so much confidence. So fitness um, exercise also helps me to boost more confidence in playing football, and I think that that also helped me to reach that certain level to be in represent Tibet national team. So
Mhm.
this has been amazing. Yeah.
Of course, I think one of your biggest ventures in life until now was participating in the Mr. Tibet competition, right? And Mr. Modern Worldwide competition as well. How has life changed after that?
Yes, that was in 2018 when I was representing Tibet. That was in 2018. It happened in Delhi,
Mhm.
and there were like 17 or 18 other contestants from all other countries. So
Mhm.
again, this has been such a wonderful journey. Get to know people, get to know with how this beauty pageant works, and
Mhm.
of course, to just to represent your nation itself is a big thing. I think it's. I always feel blessed that I got this opportunity. Yeah, nothing really has changed after that. I
Mhm.
mean, but that just gave me a platform. That just gave me an opportunity where I could connect with a lot of people. Of course, this
Mhm.
has been overwhelming because I get to connect with a lot of different people, and the way they respond to me, the way they show their support and love to me
Mhm.
was amazing. So this is one thing that that will always be with me.
I think it's the memories that still remain, right, from whatever you've been
Absolutely, yeah.
participating, into the Mr. Tibet competition. You were representing Tibet. So was it a great challenge for you because you were doing it for the first?
Right. So some organizer, I think they contact me and
Mhm.
they ask me to. It's a good chance to just to participate in this global platform where you can represent your nation. I thought this is a wonderful opportunity,
Mhm.
you know. So I wasn't really sure, and since yeah, I mean this was my first time, and I
Mhm.
wasn't really sure about what I was gonna do, but I did like prepare a little things like
Mhm.
some physical body, or I prepared
Mhm.
my mentality that I should be, you know,
Mhm.
that certain things that I need to do when you're at the page and when you're representing one's
Mhm.
nation. So obviously there will be a lot of people who will be, you know, looking at you. Yeah, fortunately, there's been a lot of people who have been, I've been a lot of great supporters or friends who have always been like so supportive with me during the time, and obviously they have helped me to boost my confidence when I was up on the stage or when I was representing my nation. And I think I did pretty well. I mean,
Mhm.
there's just I just take this as some kind of opportunity that came to me, and obviously this is one of the opportunities that you shouldn't miss. You know, whether you did it bad or whether you did good, you should always grab this kind of opportunity. This won't come
Yes.
often, right?
What matters is the participation. As you know, what's happening right now in the world, right? Not just in India or not just
Mm,
in any particular country. It's the entire the world in total, the coronavirus, and this has been going
right,
on for a long time now. How are
right,
you coping up at this point of time? And I also know that you also own a business, right? That's the Garden Asia restaurant, which is in Bangalore.
right. Me and my partner, we started this running this restaurant, and it was going pretty well before that. But we started for like uh, I think we started and we worked for like 5 months, and after that this lockdown happened, and now it's been like 4 months, right? I think it's going to be 5 months now,
Right.
the lockdown, and our restaurant is still closed. And obviously, it's because of this lockdown. There are so many people, others who's suffering, not just business. There are a lot of people who are having a difficult times.
Mhm.
But I would rather take this as something, as a lesson, because a lockdown has happened, and there's been a lot of tough times, difficult times for the people, for the country, and obviously for the whole world. And this is one thing that if you can look at it that way, that you can take this as, you know, as a lesson that, you know, whatever you have been, now is the time that you spend time alone and you spend time for yourself, invest about your true self, and just get to know the real you. I think this is lockdown has been like really happened to me as a wake up call to me. I think I would say that way,
Mhm.
because I get to know more about myself. I get to know about yoga. So yoga was something that I always looked down upon, because I was misrepresented the term yoga. Yoga, I always believed that yoga was just some fancy uh, exercise for like twist and turning. But yeah, yoga is definitely not about just twisting and turning your body. There's just more meaning to it. This is just the whole inclusiveness. And so yoga is something that has came to me during this lockdown, and now that I feel like I feel so addicted to it, you know.
Mhm.
So yoga and spirituality, you also get to know deeper meaning about your own purpose, about your own existence. Can you
Mhm.
hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Right. So yeah, lockdown has been a blessing to me in a way. I know it's still like there's been a lot of people who are suffering, but in a way that this has been a blessing to me.
I do agree with the fact, whatever you mentioned right now. I think it's, in a way, it's been a blessing, to most of us, trying to discover
Right.
yourself and trying to discover your passion.
Right. So yeah, when you spend time with yourself, you obviously think about what you have done in the past, and what are the things that you really want, and what are the future plans that you want to do. And so when you think about that way, you also get to know about your own self. And this is lockdown is really the time that has helped me to explore there more to life than just the living. Whatever
Mhm.
I've done in the past, we have been taking so many things for granted, I think. Whether it's the people or the situation, we have taken so many things for granted, and now this thing happened. Obviously the nature is reacting to it, I think, and
Mhm.
it's high time that we also need to think about the whole union than just being, infused with negativity, or just giving just false beliefs and false conclusions, I think.
Correct. Yes. And talking about negativity, there's a lot of it, I believe, in the social media today as well, right? Well, we do see a lot of talent coming up also. Talent in the form of dance, art, music, anything.
Hmm.
But along with it also comes negativity.
Especially nowadays when you open at the social media. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of younger kids, I think, younger generation, they just look it at look at it as some kind of an influence, and I don't know what they're, maybe they're missing the bigger picture up there. You know, it's social media is not just to show off what you have, but it's actually a great platform if you have the true talent or creativity, or to be original to yourself. I mean, so if you have a good content, I think there are multiple ways that you can showcase your talent on such a wonderful platform like social media,
Yes.
like Instagram, YouTube,
Mhm.
or anything as such. But unfortunately, there's been a lot of negative influence that's happening around in the social media, and most people just take this as some kind of challenge, or some people just take this as a pressure, and thus leads to stress or depression or even suicide. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a really sad reality that we are living
Mhm.
right now. So yeah, so when you really have the true when you really know about yourself, when you invest time about your own talent or skills, that the gift that you have, if you really explore that, and if you create something out of this, even if it's, be it in a music, or be it in the movies, or be it in any art forms. I mean, this is a wonderful platform. The technology has been amazing nowadays. There's been a lot of, if you have the talent, it's just a lot of ways that you can do it, right?
Mhm.
So that's what I believe. You can just take this as a positive influence, not just take this as a pressure. If you don't have the talent, that's okay. You just sit back and just spend time for yourself and just get to know you.
Mhm.
That's okay. If it's just for entertainment purpose, then yeah, I think it's well and good. But you cannot just invest all your time in this social media without knowing what you're doing, and just wasting a lot of time. Even for me, I realized that I've been wasting a lot of time on social media like Instagram and Facebook and all that. So now I'm trying to uh, reduce my time. Last time when I see my phone application, I see that almost all my days, almost like 80% of my uh,
Your time.
application that I've
Mhm.
spent was on on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, that's really sad. I
Yeah.
just have to change things that way.
And it's pretty funny that technology itself is showing you that, right? That you're using 80% of your time on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually in a way trying to show you that, come on, you need to give a break. You need to get a life, and has been so amazing actually. But the way that people use it is what is exploiting them. I think that's what it's corrupting their mind. So these are tools, so we need to use them as a tool, I think.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes, I agree. And also, since you spoke about depression as well, in between
Right.
stress that people have in depression. Well, it's a very, a topic that can go on forever, and maybe we'll have another episode
Right.
for that topic itself. But just to give a brief and your understanding on, what is depression to you, and like, how does like what's your meaning to it?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's been a lot of younger kids, I think, younger generation. They are just going through depression and stress, and even there's been a lot of suicides. You know that there's been, I think there's like in India itself, like how many
Mhm.
suicides in a year?
Yes.
It's alarming, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know about depression because I have never faced that. But I think that depression is something that you can control yourself. If you really know how to control your own thoughts and emotions, I think there is no way that this depression or stress or anxiety or this thing happens. Most people are insecure because of what's happening around the world. There's been too much going on in the world, and they just got a lot of. We are already confused. We are already confused being, and then this all, when you look at the things around, this all makes it even more confusing. And maybe in a way that people, we have been dragged ourselves into the other direction and just keep on dragging there, and this is not the right path. All you need to do is just you need to just control your own thoughts and emotions. But I know it's easy to say when you say you have to control your thoughts and emotions, but when what I do is, after yoga and spirituality, when you have a little, I still am in a process to know about yoga. This is an amazing technology. I think yoga is like a technology to me, because it helps me not just physically, in terms of mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. There's been a lot of things happening inside our body, and if you really respond to your own body, if you stop looking outward and if you start looking inward and just really know your own thoughts, your own emotions, and your own body, I don't think that the depressions and stress and all this will happen. So there was once a Sadhguru once said something like that, your body is not you, your mind is not you. So that means you are not your body, you are not your mind, which is an amazing way to describe ourselves, right? Because obviously our body is not us. It's just a heap of food that we have gathered over the time, and our thoughts or our minds is also not us, because it's just memories, or it's just the impressions that we have gathered over the time. But what really is you is something that we need to seek upon, right? And yoga is all about that. Believe it or not, I never thought the yoga was about these things. I thought yoga was just about lying down on a yoga mat and just going twisting, turning. But yoga is not about that. It's about just inclusiveness, right? It's about including everything as yourself. And in a way, as being a Buddhist, I also believe that Buddhism also have the same kind of perception towards life. So if you really know, and if you really can practice, these methods or these practices, like then I don't think that these depressions or stress, anxiety, or this will happen to you if you what happens around you is not under your control, right? But what happens within you is totally under your control. That
Yes.
Sadhguru once said that, and it's so true, man. If you look at that, obviously, when people say bad things to you, you cannot control that. But obviously, if you want to react or if you want to respond, that's your control, right? If you just don't stop reacting to this negative things going around, if you just respond to it in a way that would just help you, I think that should be the way to live, and if you live it that way, obviously there won't be such depression or stress or any of these things.
After having going through your own, struggles in life, and you reaching at a
Mm,
point now, I'm sure it's not your destination, but you still have a long way to go. But you made it so
right.
far. So what do you think, like, is your formula, to living a happy life, in the simplest of words?
Oh yeah, the obviously the happy life is to just live this life to the fullest, experientially, just physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You just try to explore the whole dimensions, whatever we have. We are just, I believe that, we don't know where we came from, right? Obviously, we come from our mother's womb, but where's the life that actually came, right? We don't know where we came from, and we don't even know where we're going after that. And now we're stuck in between and thinking that, believing in so many things, but In fact, we don't know a lot of things. We don't even know. Uh, so we just keep on seeking. My point is that you just have to keep on seeking, instead of just believing that there is a God or there is a heaven or hell. You just uh, it's important that we need to keep seeking about, about our own inner self. And if you I'm also in the process right now, just to I always try to uh, meditate, or I always try to think more about that, but I know I'm not there yet, but I always try to just go there. And I can say that it has definitely helped me in so many things. The way I look at it now, or the way I look at things before, has totally changed. That's the purpose of my life, I think. I don't know. I think that's the purpose of everybody's life. Everyone's has to think it that way.
Make every moment count, I believe, in terms of living a very.
That's right. I mean, no, I think that's important, that everyone should able to do what they want to do, right? So for me, I did the same thing. I think, I was into. I tried to do a lot of things. I was never stable at one thing. I keep changing my interest, or I keep just losing my interest over something so easily. I was doing something, and then the next thing that I want to do that, and then I somehow do that, and then like the next thing again, I keep on changing it. So basically, yeah, I was just trying to do whatever comes and whatever I want to do. I just did that, and people should also need to do that, instead of just stuck in one thing and not knowing where it goes, and not happy with what you're doing. Especially if you're really not happy with what you're doing, and if you're stuck at one place, that's the most terrible thing. I think we really need to explore your own interests or your passion, so that you can follow your passion. Your work is not just your living or just for your survival. It's something that you need to enjoy what you do, right? Enjoy what you do what you enjoy, right? For me, in my journey, I was working. We were working together in a company, Excel Health. I thought I was earning quite decent that time, but then I moved to fitness trainer, and I was getting that time like around 6,000 per month. And Excel Health, I think I was getting like 6 times more than that, right? And then I started with this, with this. But anyways, it's something that you have to go through this kind of journey, and that's how you will able to learn more. That's how you will able to see more. That's how you can experience more. That's how you can explore more, right? So that's what I believe. People should able to, really do what they want to do, not just for the sake of living, just for the survival. Survival is anybody can survive, right? We are more capable than just surviving. We can do a lot of things than just surviving. Surviving, we can just go in the jungle or forest. We can even survive there. But yeah, so it's important that we try to look at this life as just the way it is, without just naming, or without just identifying, or without just discriminating, or any such things. You just look at this life as the way it is. You're just here just for like a short duration of time. When you look at the whole universe, like how minuscule or how small we are on this earth, and we think so much. Our ego is going here and there. It's just a lot of mess already has happened. So it's important that we have to look at this life as just a life that we need to experience everything to the fullest, in terms of physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually.
All right, great, man. All right, we've had a long, good conversation. It felt like 10 minutes,
Right.
but it's already been, I believe, about 45 minutes. What do you prefer, or what's your understanding of education and knowledge?
when I look back at my past, what we were taught in schools, like the education that we were taught, I don't know, in a way that this has exploited us in so many ways. I mean, it's, it's something that that our grading system in the school systems, I mean, in our education system, we were all grading in terms of, not in terms of intelligence, but in terms of memories. That's what I believe. Memory is not intelligence, right? Memory is a totally different dimension from intelligence. If you um, um, really wanted to test one's intelligence, then there shouldn't be a grading system. What we have done in the school, in our education system, was they grade systems, and they give exams, and they give the whole education system has been in a way that it has gone in a, not in a constructive way. I believe that this is actually more destructive than helping you, you know. And in not just education in your in your schools or education institution, but also in the society where you live in, what you grasp from the society that you live in, from the people, obviously from the family that you live in. These are all the education. These are the real education that can master, that can help you in your life, right? So I believe that, I don't know, I may be wrong, but I think that it's important that we should change the way our education system should be, because the way our education system was has happened in the past was, I don't know how it is now. Maybe it has changed, but when we were in our school times, we were there's been a grading system, right?
Yeah.
So you've been grading according to uh, whatever the teacher was teaching in the class. You just have to write it down, and you just memorize it, and you just write it down on the exam, and that's how they grade the education. That's how they grade the system, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So if we grade upon like that, that's a very poor way to education, right? Education, not just memory. If we really touch our children's students intelligence in terms of their own capability, or in terms of their own ability to, as you know, kids are always vulnerable to anything. Our education system has changed. Let's say they have made so much boundary within themselves, and not able to now go out is actually the crime against humanity. That's the truth, because education should not be into grading system. Everybody's unique. We all are unique, and we all have different ways to explore life. You have to test people. You have to really touch the dimension of intelligence. I think intelligence, again, there are like in I don't know whether I should go there or not, but in yoga, there in minds can be divided into four parts. Like there are actually 16 parts, and then further down into four parts, which are called like buddhi, intelligence, and then there is a memory, and then there is a identity, and then there is a chitta. Chitta is like the pure intelligence that we all have. We all have that. We just need to just explore the dimension. But buddhi is something that we use in our school. So we say buddhi, or that's buddha, right? So, but that intelligence is not just not the clear intelligence. It's just molded with so many identity that you have learned in the past, from the education system, from the society, from the family, from the religion. So many identities that we have blocked and which has actually blocked our views to see the bigger picture out there. And this has happened in the education system, which is something that it really needs to change, right?
Yes.
I think that's not the way to educate people. That's what I believe. We can But it's good that if you realize that, so we can try to unlearn what we have learned in the past and relearn what are really necessary for you and what is really necessary for the life, without creating boundaries, or without discriminating each against. There's been a lot of discrimination, as you know that, because I think this has all happened because of the education system that one has gone through. Now, education system, like I said, it's not just only from your schools. It starts from your family. It starts from the community that you live in. It starts from the society, the religion. A lot of education that you can get from all of these things. It's important that we shouldn't identify with something. It's important that we need to include everything. So this is what yoga is about. You include everything, breaking all the boundaries and everything as a whole union.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it makes sense or not, but
It does. We should do another episode, for this, the yoga and the fitness part of it all together.
as a fitness trainer, I was always curious to know about ways of building body or transforming my body. About our body can do a lot of things, but fitness are mostly physically, right? You're just changing your physical structure, your physical components. Like there are a lot of things, like if you look at it, like body fats or protein or muscles or a lot of things that they're happening in our body. But this is just I'm saying, as a fitness trainer, you need to know about how your body works. But when I got to know about yoga, it actually helps you not just physically but also mentally and spiritual well-being. It is something that instead of just I don't know, I now feel like instead of just going for physical fitness, physical exercise, I can just go do perform yoga. I think that's now I feel that is even more important. It's funny that back in those days when I was doing as a physical trainer, I never look at yoga that way, because I always see that there's a yoga teacher and then there's a lot of people lying down on a yoga mat and just twisting and turning. I always picture yoga was something like that, but now if I know about that, it's even more important. Now it kind of replaced me for going out to gym for a workout now.
Yeah, they say that yoga changes your life, right? Once you start practicing it religiously, it transforms you physically as well as mentally.
Yeah, it transforms you absolutely everything and every aspect of your body. Like, not just, like I said, it's just not physical. It's more, yoga is more like spiritual, and yoga is more like your mental health, your emotional health, and obviously your physical health. This is everything is so connected and so related when you really know about the yoga. And that's what I've been practicing now. And I know I'm still not there. I'm still trying to learn every day that there are a lot of different ways to do yoga. So yoga has been misrepresented in so many ways. When I say yoga, many people might look at it as a posture or twisting or turning or something like that. But there's just so many things more to it than what we have.
After you got into the limelight, and I'm sure people must have started following you and looking up to you. So, is there any a compliment you got from a fan or a well-wisher? Any compliment that you remember of? Or something good
One thing
that
is,
someone said?
yeah, one thing is I didn't really bother about what people comment on me. I'm sure that what they have meant, there have been a lot of positive response from the people, and obviously you feel good when you hear good things. But also, obviously, you will hear a lot of negative mm, mm, things that people say to you, or it's thankfully I don't take this too serious about that. I just take this as a part of it, as a part of journey. If you are in certain journey, obviously you cannot impress everyone. There will be people that who don't like? There will be, even if you do the best thing, there will be at least people that who's gonna say that, they're trying to pull you down, or they're trying to, say bad things, or they're trying to hurt you and all that. So this is something that's how you practice yoga. You feel you control your own thoughts and you control your own emotions. This is not something that you can just get depressed or you feel stressed just by people say bad things to you. No, that's stupid, right?
Yeah, but
So
what is
yeah,
that?
obviously I've been receiving a lot of positive message from the people. Obviously, I'm fortunate that there's been my friends and my I don't know, my well wishers. Maybe I should say that. There's been a lot of people who's been very supportive of all the things what I've done in the past. I've done some crazy things, and they're all been there, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Yes, well, it's always good to have a support whenever you're doing trying to chase your dream.
Right.
Yeah, it always
Right.
makes you much more safer and confident in doing what you want to do, right? Any message that you have before we end the show? Any message that you would like to pass, to people who are listening
Uh,
to this?
yeah, I mean, thank you. I mean, I want to thank you for making this kind of platform. Podcast is something I say like it's an amazing way to interact with one another and talk about anything. We can talk about life, arts, music, movies,
Yeah.
spiritual, everything. And this is an amazing way to we can discuss with things like that. And I'm I'm thankful to you that you called me in the beginning of your episode, and obviously I always look at look at you as someone who's very creative in your own ways. I always keep on telling you that you have a gifted voice, you have a gifted talent, you have a true musician. And I always ask you to just follow that, and you've been doing that, and it's amazing. And thank you so much for having me in your show, man. It's
Yeah,
amazing. I
thank
would
you.
love to come more often if you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. We need to do this again, man. And thank you so much again,
Right.
for your kind words. It means, and I wish you all the success and best of luck for whatever you do in life. And
Thank you.
and once again, we shall keep this thing going. Welcome. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And that was Tsering Choepel. See you in the next episode of Casual Convo Sessions.